Katie, welcome to the Unblocked podcast.
Hi, it is
Hi.
so good to see you.
Likewise. Well, I feel like we should just start by telling the listeners that the first time I had a conversation with Katie Pulsifer is when she was interviewing me to be a contract coach. And
Yeah.
don't worry, y'all, I did get hired, so this doesn't have to be super awkward. Both and I will say, one of the last times we talked to each other face to face is when you were letting me know that the contract for would not be renewed.
Yes.
And yeah, she's like that part. And here's the thing. I do want to talk about this because I want to have a conversation about transitions. And at that time, I had already kind of started cutting back my hours. I knew in my business I wanted to pull back on contract coaching because of the
Mm-hmm.
demand of my business and the direction I wanted to go. Both and I still had feelings about it when I was like, did I just get fired? I remember even reaching, I'm like, what did I, you're like, man, this has nothing to do with performance. But like, even when we know, like, yeah, this is the direction I know this is for me, we can have feelings. So from your
Oh,
perspective, why are transitions so emotionally charged?
I mean, simply put, we want it and we don't want it a lot of the times, right? Like in your case, you want the new thing you were going after, more time in your own business, and yet you don't want to let go of what was familiar and known, likely.
Oof.
So,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So
such an
we,
like, I just want to pause for a second because I know it's something I say a lot, right? Like,
mm,
and people hear, like, even as soon as you said letting go, like, I felt something. Like, the number one podcast episode that by far has been downloaded on this podcast is the one on letting go.
mm.
People are like, tell me everything. I want to let go. And the reason people want to hear is because it's hard. It's hard to
It's
let go.
so hard, even when we know something isn't great for us
Mhm.
anymore, a habit that isn't serving us, a way of showing up in the world. I was talking to a client this morning who just knows, like, once and for all, I have to like get over this part of the way I think about myself.
Mm.
And yet she's gripping to it so tightly. And
Mhm.
it's like she wants me to take it out of her hands, but she won't let it go either because that in between space is so uncomfortable. We're not in the old spot, we're not yet in the new spot. We're just in that subliminal in between that's like there's no bottom there, there's no steady ground. It
Mhm. I always think of it
sucks.
like on the monkey bars, right? It's like when you're
Yeah.
swinging to the next one and you don't
Yes.
know if you're going to be able to grab it yet, like that feeling. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So if you were going to drop some wisdom for the dear listener who's like, I am hanging on to every word you're saying. You are describing exactly what I'm going through. I
Mm.
know it's time to let go and I'm terrified and
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
What's like the wisdom? What are the like baby steps that they could take to really
Oh,
lean in?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think naming the transition is hard is important,
Mhm.
not trying to sugarcoat it and dress it up into something that it isn't,
Yep.
because we lie to ourselves about stuff like this all the time. I'm
Ah,
so sick of it. I am so
yeah.
sick of it. It's like,
Yeah.
can we please just tell the truth?
Yeah.
The transition, that in between, that swinging on the monkey bars, like part of it is liberating and part of it we're scared shitless.
Yep.
And so both and it's all happening. Let's be truth tellers. And your momentum will carry you where you want to go. You will get there,
Mhm.
but you don't make that journey worse by this shouldn't be happening, it shouldn't feel uncomfortable, or how about this one? I'm sure you hear this all the time. I've made the wrong decision.
Yep.
Now
Mhm.
I'm second guessing. So the transition is wrought with conflict and indecisiveness and second guessing. It's like, don't make it even harder. Allow yourself to arrive,
Mm.
then assess. And if a different decision needs to be made, you always can.
Yeah. That is brilliant. I mean, you said it so articulately. And I think that's so many people like I hear a lot is like I want to be confident in this change,
Hmm.
in this decision that I'm making.
Yes.
I'm like, great, yay, of course. Like I didn't we want it
Yes.
to feel good. And I just
Yes.
love the honesty there that, people want to try to sell you, oh yeah, great, I have the 5-step thing for you. Here's the five
Oh,
steps
yeah.
of letting go. It's going to be smoothless and seamless. No. It's gonna have
No.
feelings. It's gonna have feelings. And when you resist that, it's gonna make it worse. So you could just be honest. And I also
Right.
love the reminder at the end, like, let yourself arrive. What a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, right? Like, let yourself get there. Let yourself
Mm-hmm.
make the decision, create the result, get across the finish line, and then you can redecide. Don't redecide while
Mm-hmm.
you're flying through the air.
Right.
Grab the
Right.
next bar.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's nothing to grab there.
Yeah.
There's nothing to grab. And also, thanks for reflecting it all back. It was
Yeah.
good to hear what I said back even better.
Mhm.
But grieving where we've come from,
Oh,
like allowing the sadness to be there too, not as an indication it's the wrong thing to do, but just, of course, something I used to do, something I
yeah.
loved, something that I didn't want to have end has ended.
Mhm.
I can feel sad about that and excited on my way to this new adventure over here. Again,
Yeah.
creating room, spaciousness for all of those feelings to happen.
Yeah, that's a really great call out because sometimes it can seem so much easier to let go or make changes, excuse me, when you're leaving something terrible.
Right.
Yeah. But sometimes you're like, yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't terrible. It might not even been broken. Might have been quite beautiful. And
Hmm.
something bigger, something different, something just different, something evolving, something, and that can be, yeah, those can be some of the harder ones. And so I love the call, like, yeah, allow yourself to grieve. You can be sad, and it doesn't mean it's wrong.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
also, I think being sad because, like, there was a part of you that wanted that at one time. There was a part of you that that
Mhm.
was good enough for you. You've
Mhm.
outgrown it. That there's nothing wrong with craving more, wanting more, or being pushed out, like I unfortunately had to do with you and was done to me. Like, hey, this contract gig thing is
Don't
winding
let the
up,
door hit
and
you on the way out.
yeah, and
Yeah,
we gotta go,
you gotta go. Yeah.
and and it's like, okay, this may not be my choice, and what is here for me, and how do I want to grow out of it while being upset that it is over. So,
Yeah. Well, that right there. Okay. And that was like, okay, one of the questions I was going to ask is like, sometimes we're the ones choosing the change, and
hmm
sometimes
hmm
change chooses us.
oh
Um,
yeah.
and so I love that you hit on that, like how you might approach it differently if it's a change that chose you versus you choosing it. What you said is like, honor what's coming up. Like, yeah, of course I'm disappointed. I'm sad. So maybe angry, right? Like, whatever
hmm
the feelings are.
hmm
Is there anything
hmm
else you would add to that? I mean, feel the feelings, be present to your truth of what's coming up. Anything else that you might do if it's the change that chose us?
the change that I think just allowing the transition to take as long as it takes.
Mm,
Because you've probably had this happen as well. You're well on your way. You've gripped that new monkey bar. You're living in that monkey bar land.
hmm
And then every once in a while, you look back over your shoulder and there's a little bit of longing for what you had before. It
Yeah.
might have been easier, more comfortable, or you're just feeling a bit nostalgic.
Yeah.
It's all fine. And I
Yeah.
think when we can help our clients anticipate that, normalize it,
hmm
then when they're left to their own devices in their brains, where it's like, oh, back over there, was that better? Or, oh, is this the wrong decision? It's like, yeah, all of that's going to come up. Grip both hands, new monkey bar, be there
Yeah.
for a minute, really
hmm
be in that space. We can have a conversation if this is where you want to be or not. But the longing, the missing, that's probably inevitable too. Different
Yeah.
things, will, like, how they say smells and sounds and a song or running into someone, that's
Yep.
likely going to activate a memory of that other place. It's all okay.
Yeah.
I just want us supporting ourselves all
Yeah.
the way through it even better than we do now.
This is like when I say things like feelings aren't facts, like this
Mhm.
is what we're talking about, right? Where you're like, oh, I feel I miss an ex that I know is not for me, right? Like something
Mhm.
even like
Mm.
a feeling of longing might come up, a feeling of nostalgia. That
Mhm.
doesn't mean it is not factual like, oh, that means you want it back. Like feelings are just this is a
Yes.
great expression of that's what we mean when like a feeling just wants to be felt. When the feeling is gone and then your brain is back online in a different way, you're like, oh, yeah, that definitely remains in the past. I can
Yes.
see how that's for me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the person, okay, so here's a question I get a lot. So for the person who's listening to this and wondering, like, how do I know if the discomfort is like a fear of change or if it's kind of, this is what I hear a lot, like, is this intuition? Is it my wisdom telling me this isn't actually the right choice? Like, where do you go to answer that question? What comes up for you?
Mm. Can you give me a like an example? Help
Yeah,
me
so what
drop
I hear,
into it a little
like, you're
more.
like, use it in a sentence for this. Just kidding.
Can you tell
Can
me
we
a
get the
story so
origin
I can
story?
role
Yeah.
play?
So what I would hear, like one I heard recently was someone who's in the process of dating. They want to find the best relationship of their life.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, I'm not sure if this is the person. And what she couldn't suss
Mm-hmm.
out was like, is this just fear of vulnerability, fear of me
Mm.
putting myself out
Mm-hmm.
there,
Mm.
or is this like my wisdom, like some kind of intuition telling me,
Mm.
this is not for you?
Mm. Yeah. I don't know that I have a perfect answer for this, but what's coming to me is putting yourself in situations where you get to practice this a lot. Because how I read my body cues is going to be very different than someone else reading their own body cues.
Mm-hmm.
The more I stay at home and don't put myself in situations where I can test my body's reaction to things,
Mm-hmm.
the less connected I am to that information. And so in the work you and I do, every time you record a podcast or I write my Substack or we create something that didn't exist before, we are putting ourselves in the world to get feedback on, okay, is this me being vulnerable in this moment? Is this me what is the messaging that I'm getting from this idea that I have? Intuition, me just being uncomfortable because I've never done it before. I know the difference in me,
Yep.
but I think we all have to like practice to figure out what it is in each of us. But what do
Yeah,
you
that's
think?
super helpful actually, because I one of my response to the coaching question from this client was, yeah, that's it's you'll know there's a felt sense different, like the difference between
Mm-hmm.
intuition and anxiety that happens in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And to
Mm-hmm.
your point, because she was like, like, what do you mean, right?
Yeah,
And
of
that's exactly
course.
because what you're saying is, well, if you haven't practiced being present to that felt experience, you don't know. And again, we
Mm-hmm.
love a good, this is like, we're kind of dancing around like this. Change is like in the unknown. We want to know before we do it. And
Oh
what you're
yeah.
leaning on is like, well, the more you practice it and you actually give your chance to have the felt experience of the difference between wisdom and knowing and guidance and fear and anticipation and like, I'm like, good news, bad news, friends. Like, you have to experientially do it. You
Yes.
can't
Yes.
get out of that part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know in me that when it's like I for me call it my full body yes.
Hmm.
That's when I know it's my intuition, everything. It's like whoosh. It's like
Hmm.
everything just gets like super like locked in and aligned.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I feel very open, even though I may not know how it's going to go,
Yep.
what the outcome is going to be. That feeling in me feels like safety, even though there's so much unknown.
Whoa. Okay, so I think I feel like we're starting to dance into the land of like self-leadership. Like
Mm-hmm.
how do we lead ourselves? How do we
Mm-hmm.
follow ourselves? So,
Mm-hmm.
how do you define self-leadership?
Well, I think I just did,
Oh,
which is so cool because I don't
yeah.
think I've ever defined it that way
Uh-huh.
before. But it's the connection, the relationship with self,
Mm-hmm.
with me knowing myself well enough to know, okay, is this me just in a moment of intense emotions where my brain is not online making decisions in my best interest? Is this me having one of those full body yes moments? Is this me feeling a little rebellious and just wanting to say, screw it, yeah, let's do it, let's go for it? Or
Mm-hmm.
those are all parts of me. I love all of them. They are
Yep.
all within me, and I have many, many more. But it's like my self leadership is knowing all of those aspects of me are me.
Yeah.
And who's in charge when?
Yes.
Which one am I going to bring to the meeting? Which one is
Uh-huh.
going to go to the party? Which one's going to be the mom? Which
Hmm.
one's going to be the friend? Which one's going to be the business owner?
Yeah.
So that's my way of thinking about self-leadership.
Yeah, and I like in that I you can hear the self-knowing, right? Like there's a self-awareness that you're like,
Mm.
I part of self-leadership is getting to know all your parts, getting to know what is it like if I'm leading with this part? What is it like if I'm leading with that other part?
Mm-hmm.
Do I know the difference? Can I work with them? And can I respect them, right? And not like, oh, that's the part that loud, harsh inner critic part never gets the, or this is my angry, scared part. Like I hear the leadership is like we get to be aware of them and integrate. They all get to come to the party. They just might not all get to have the final vote and have the final say.
Yeah. And I think for me, whenever the biggest thing that I've been working on in the past couple of years is being self-led enough to not let urgency make all my decisions for me.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So being aware enough to tap the brakes just because an incredible idea popped into my brain does not mean I stop doing everything at 2 p.m. on Wednesday and change directions.
Yeah. That could be
Or,
so tempting. Break this down
oh,
for us, Katie. Yeah, keep going.
well, you know how our brains are.
Yeah,
We're taking in a lot of inputs, we're getting a lot of information, we have a lot of ideas, there's a lot of ways we want to help, there's a lot of things we want to do. We live in an extraordinary time.
yeah,
Just because things pop into our brain does not mean that we need to listen, obey, stop what we're doing, derail whatever plans we have, and go chase it. Chasing squirrels is chasing shiny objects, is often
yeah,
how we refer to it.
yeah.
So my version of self-leadership in this season of my life is
Mhm.
to allow the shiny objects to emerge. I want them around. I'm not going to protect myself from them. I'm just not going to pursue them at my
Yeah.
own expense.
Ooh, that right there. Like partnering well. Yeah, because I'm thinking about like partnering well with your brain. Like that's what you're describing.
Yeah,
Like this
yeah.
is how we can partner well.
Yep.
And part of that is like I'm not gonna, what did you just say? Like I'm not gonna pursue them at the expense of
At my
myself.
own expense.
Yeah,
So
that's
if
a
I'm
great way.
sitting down to prepare something for a client at 2, but that brilliant idea pops into my head, I'm going to continue to sit down and do the thing that I plan to do for the client, make a note of the idea, and then maybe I'll return to it. 9 times out of 10, the ideas are terrible. And I'm so glad that I gave myself 24 hours to ignore it.
And so
But I
glad you
had to
didn't
learn
skip
that.
the thing you were committed to, right? Like the preparation
Right.
for the client. Like so
Yeah.
glad you didn't skip that for something that you're like, oh, turns out that
Turns out.
wasn't.
But
Yeah.
when we don't know that we can prioritize the ideas, when we don't know that we can be in charge of our brain, we don't know that we can be self-led, then it's like idea came, execute idea. We just like obey it in a way that, oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm speaking very personally about me, where I'm just chasing a million things, and I
Yeah.
just don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. So, okay, so now I feel like we're kind of getting into something I want to talk to you about anyway, is like self-coaching skills. I mean, that's what this is,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, this is what
Mm-hmm.
is required in these moments. We have to learn. So, what are your, like, I think something you've said is like coaching skills are this a superpower. And obviously, I agree.
Oh yeah. Oh
So, for
yeah.
people who
Oh
aren't
yeah.
coaches, or who've never experienced coaching, although if they're listening to this podcast, they probably have
They probably
a hint
do.
of an idea. Like, what do you think? What comes to mind when you think of those, the primary self-coaching skills? Like, what are the specific skills that come up for you?
Well, I think all the things that you put in your book, which is amazing. By the way,
Thank
oh
you.
my gosh, I
Yeah.
love it so
Shout out,
much.
y'all. If you haven't gotten In Pursuit, Katie's like, listen, I've got my copy
I
right here. Let me
mean,
show you.
dog-eared,
I didn't even pay her,
highlighted.
y'all. I didn't even pay her. Yeah,
No,
it's
I
fine.
bought
Yeah.
it
I
all on
thought.
my own. So lots of the tools that are in there, I totally agree with. Even if you just are curious about neuroscience and the way the brain works,
Yeah.
if you're curious about the body and the
Uh,
way you feel things, those are coaching skills. You are further ahead than the person that doesn't know anything about the way the brain functions or what happens in the body with emotions.
mhm,
So a little bit of curiosity can take you a long way.
mhm.
But if you had to boil it down to the most important things. I think it is understanding your brain's motivation and its deep, deep, deep desire to be lazy and loyal and
Well, I
how,
love a good alliteration. I'm
yeah,
still, our brains just want to be lazy and loyal. Got it. Yeah.
lazy and loyal to this version of us.
Mm-hmm.
But yet our biology wants us and is compelling us towards a different version of us all the time. That's
Mm-hmm.
because we keep evolving and growing and growing. So there's always this friction within us. So even if all you know is that,
Yeah.
that can be really helpful in terms of, oh, this makes so much sense. And wouldn't it be amazing if we spent a lot less time walking around this world saying something is wrong with me because my biology and brain are just doing what they do, and more time saying, oh, this is just what happens because I'm a human being. Now
Yeah.
what?
Now what?
But we turn so much of just who we are on ourselves. And so that's why I'm like, if anyone can get any access free, there's tons of free resources out there to learn some basic coaching skills or more skills. It is the superpower that I think we all need.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you. This might be a scary question or unfair. I don't. We'll see what comes up. It's because I'm like paint a picture. Because listen, sometimes I spend a lot of time with coaches. I have a lot of friends who are coaches. I spend a lot of time with clients who are actively getting coached, and then I go hang out with some people that I'm like, oh, you have never experienced coaching.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
When you're around those people, you're like, what, you're like, maybe you need a coach. So I'm saying this not with judgment. That's why I was like, this might be a sharp question. But you can tell the difference, right? Versus I think I even put it in the book when I paid, like a used car price tag to go hang out with a mentor of the coach or the school where I got certified for a day. I'm like, this is a lot of money. But I was like, worth the price of admission the moment she walked into the room and I was like, oh, this is what a human who has a product, who is a product of the product. Like you are an embodied
Yes,
human. You
yes.
clearly have a well-developed coaching practice. Like you can tell. And then you can also tell somebody who has no idea that they're walking around with a brain that is loyal and lazy. So,
Right,
yeah.
right. I
So
know. I
like
know.
with
And my
all the
heart,
love, part of me is like I paint this picture maybe from hope, like not from judgment for the people who have like I have never picked up a coaching skill in my life, but there is such a stark difference when we utilize some of these
mhm.
coaching skills. So that was maybe like really clunky way of asking the question of maybe like what is the value? Maybe that's really what I'm trying to say. It's like there is a real value in these skills. So, what are those values? What do you notice? What do you notice personally is different when you use these superpowers? What you notice maybe is different with the people you work with when they are really gripping these coaching superpowers.
Yeah. So I hang out with lots of coaches
Mhm.
also and
Mhm.
lots of non-coaches.
Yeah,
And I have tremendous empathy for people who have not yet been exposed to what you and I have had the privilege of being able to study and learn. I have
yeah,
just a lot of empathy. I can imagine how hard it is
yeah.
to understand yourself. And I think there are probably lots of beautiful organizations and religions and things around the world that resource and help people in different ways, which is
Yep.
also all amazing. But I think when we have this knowledge and we have this wisdom, we show up differently in the world. And that energetically has an effect on all those that we interact with, whether they know about coaching or not. So I sort of feel like whether someone pays me to be their coach or
Yeah.
not, I have a responsibility while I have time on this planet
Mm.
to not coach anyone against their will or push coaching
Yeah.
on anyone, but show up with the self leadership, utilizing the tools that I know so I don't take my emotions out on the lovely, lovely woman at the grocery store. And I don't vomit the
Mhm.
negative thoughts that I'm having about what's happening in my corner of the world
Yeah.
on the lovely person walking down the road as we pass, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that I can influence other people based on the way that I take care of myself and how I might look someone in the eye or greet them or
Mhm.
express interest in them or want to get to know them. Me being regulated, my mind being managed, I have so much more tolerance and interest in others.
Yeah.
So that's been the byproduct of coaching
Yeah.
for me
So
is that I'm
basically,
out of
world
my own
peace.
head.
I don't know if anyone else is listening, but basically,
I
world peace.
I don't think it's far off.
I don't think I know I say it tongue in cheek, but yeah, when I say it's like, the secrets of the universe and world peace, because what you're describing is uh, self-leadership, right? Like when you can be in that place and you're like, this is when I can be regulated and I am supervising my mind, I give myself the chance to show up in integrity with who I am. Like I
Yes.
don't get hijacked from these not self things. I can be home to myself. And when I do that, there's a really good chance I'm going to show up in
Mm.
such a way that's of the highest good for myself, for the people around me. And
Hmm.
behaviorally, they might benefit that from that, or just to your point, like energetically or emotionally, people might just benefit from that. And just
Yeah,
imagine.
I think we also you probably do this all the time, give people the benefit of the doubt more,
Yeah.
right? Like less suspicious, less
Mhm.
angry, less confrontational, less
Mhm.
divisive, just a little bit more like it makes so much sense to me why you would
Yep.
show up this way because of what your brain is telling you. It makes so much sense to me why you would feel this way based on, like I just have so much more empathy and understanding. And we need gobs of that. And that is how you solve a lot of problems. So I know
Yeah.
that comes from
Yeah, I will
coaching.
just candidly, I will say, I mean, for those who know me or have ever seen the documentary my husband's in, they will know that he has three mothers of children in our life. So when people will look at me, they're like, oh my gosh, you are now, there are three moms of the children in your life and three exes of your husband. Oh my goodness. And like something, and people look at me like, are you an actual alien? But when things, I'll say things like, when everyone's not showing up from their highest good, I'm like, no, it really makes sense to me. Like, and I
Hmm. Hmm.
genuinely mean that. Like when I see them, I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, I can totally get that. Right. Even if it's something where
Yes.
it's like, oh yeah, I get it. I got a different version, even of my husband than they did. Right. So if they're
Yes,
upset about something,
exactly.
right.
Exactly.
And you don't take it personally. Right. So
Yes.
when someone is attacked, like I could be like, I get that what is coming up for you emotionally is not about me. So I don't have to engage in that. I
Yes.
don't have to
Yes.
react to that. And and this is not like some gracious, like, oh yay, Mother Mary. Like that is a gift to me. Also, I mean,
Right.
selfishly, I am the benefactor. Like,
Yes, and then
I don't
everyone in your world is the
yeah.
benefactor of you not having lost your mind.
Literally hijacked and lost. We have lost our mind. Okay, good. This is incredible. I also, as we're in the spirit of self-leadership, um, let's talk about the role of feedback in
Mm,
self-leadership from others and
mm,
ourselves, right? Like, I love a good constructive critique. Like, I am known
mm,
for like, listen, if you see an opportunity for improvement, tell me fast,
mm,
tell me often. Not everyone
mm-hmm,
loves that, turns out. So you should ask permission
mm,
before you offer feedback. But
mm.
also, obviously, how human of me, there's another part of me that always just wants to, you're amazing. Wouldn't change a thing, right? When you come in showing my book, I'm like, yes, I want to know if there are places I can improve. But also, part of me wants to hear that you're like, this book is actual perfection. There's not a word that could be changed. I don't see that typo, even though I know they're in there, friends. I've seen them, even
Mm,
after all of
mm,
the editing. There's some in there.
mhm,
Right? So, feedback can be tricky, especially if we have that
mm.
like inner critic that already has a
Oh yeah, yeah.
megaphone, right?
Yes.
So how
Yep.
do you think about feedback and evaluation, maybe in like your own self-leadership?
Well, one of the things that I learned early on at the school where we both worked was something the founder taught, which was um, I'm right, I'm wrong, you're right, you're wrong. And it
Yeah.
was a casual something within another tool at some point, but it just landed the
Yep.
right way years ago for me. And I
Yeah.
think I am just still holding that within at all times. It's like, I'm going to get things right. I'm definitely going to get things wrong.
Yeah.
Same for you. It's just universal truth.
Yeah.
So instead of, now, do I do this perfectly? Absolutely not. Do I take feedback the hard way sometimes if I'm tired, hungry, disappointed with business results, or, of course, my vision of it is a little bit skewed.
Mhm.
But this like, okay, where did I screw up? And where did I get it right? It's like I'm holding both, and
Yeah.
both outcomes are likely probable at all
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
And it just releases the heaviness and the weight.
Yeah.
And what it's also allowed me to do is take far more risks. So, to come back to what we were talking about, to know how to read those body cues, it's like
Mhm.
I'm putting myself out into the world a lot more to know what feels safe, what feels good, what feels like, oh no, that's anxiety. Oh no, that's a full body yes.
Yeah. And when you know, like you're going to be a soft place to land, right? Like I will take more risks when I know that the evaluation is going to be a both and. Like, yeah, where did you
Exactly.
nail it? Where did you fall real far? Where did you fall
Yes.
real flat?
Yes.
Um, and both are valuable inputs. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And that it doesn't mean, I know something, that was well ingrained in us as employees at this place. Like, I loved, we had to do, I don't know if it was every month I can't remember. We block it all out.
Oh,
It's got what
oh yes, your
our
self-evaluations.
self-evaluations. And then we'd have to
Yes, you're
sit with Katie and
welcome.
tell
You
it.
are
You
welcome.
are everyone's favorite part. And that's why I think it's fun to
Hmm.
bring up because, like self-evaluate, it's not always the your favorite part. But in hindsight, I will say I was so grateful that I did that. And one of the things I like started with like, where did you get it right? Like, what did you do that
Hmm.
you want to do more of? So for the person listening, where you're like, yeah, evaluations are scary, maybe perhaps because you're always just looking at the areas of needed growth and not like, where are you nailing it? Keep doing, like you probably see a lot in our coaching. A lot of what we have to remind people of is there are already places you're doing it right. Keep doing that.
Yes.
And so we're just
Yes.
like in a constant state of improvement. But the big one that y'all taught me is it doesn't have anything to do with your worth.
No, no, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But when you are hyper focused on what's going wrong, or the
Yep.
mistakes made, or what I didn't do,
Yep.
that's when we close off to learning and
Yep.
growth, right? It's like blinders on. All we can see is the mistake. And it's almost like this tunnel vision takes over, is my experience for
Yep.
sure. And
Uh-huh.
so I feel like a retreating within me and a pulling back. And I
Hmm.
don't want the expert who I've paid money to help and guide or advise me, or
Hmm.
the supervisor that I respect and admire so much, or that mentor in my life
Yep.
that I want to be able to call. I'm I I'm not capable of receiving the
Yeah.
feedback or the ideas to improve
Uh-huh.
when I hyperfixate on what has gone wrong.
Hmm.
So when it's like, oh yeah, for sure I did something wrong here, like going into it, for sure, there will be something. I'm not surprised. There will be
Hmm.
something. I'll hear it. Then I can get to like, what do I do about it? We miss that too much when we're too focused on the inner critic inside.
Well, and as you're saying it, like what I hear, like that there's such an energetic difference of like, oh, there will be something wrong and it's not a problem versus
Hmm.
again, how many people, again, so many clients like come like in that protective, so many, and ourselves, right? Like defect that
Mm.
like defensive, like, okay, I know there's going to be something wrong. Like we're protecting ourselves from the thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
right, you can, and you'll know if you're in that place if you can't receive the feedback, right? We're like, I know there's something like that's going to be defensive will be closed off. It can't come in.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I totally switching gears now, I think. For someone listening who feels stuck, kind of going back to this like changes and self-leadership, maybe combining them both, like if they're thinking, I can feel that stuck energy. Like I'm feeling uncertain about what's next. I'm feeling unstuck or I'm feeling stuck. What's one maybe simple coaching question that they might ask themselves that would get them unstuck? Unstuck.
Mm.
Not unstuck. I'm just going to make up words now. Unstuck.
What would make someone go from unstuck? Well, and I don't want to say sprinting,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
but just taking a little bit of movement,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So I always love questions like, if this weren't blocking me, what would I do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or if this weren't keeping me stuck, what would I look forward to? things like that
Yeah.
where it's kind of we name what's happening. So we tell
Hmm.
ourselves the truth about what's happening. The
Hmm.
stuckness I feel is real. We're not trying to gaslight ourselves or
Yeah.
pretend it's not there. It's like, if it weren't here, then what would I do? What would I
Mm,
see? What would I be open to? What would be possible for me? Who would I call? What would
mm,
I create? What would I make? So those are all kind of like implying action and taking
mhm,
like a step at least.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
I like to
implied
think like
action and
that.
implying that I know. Right. This
Yeah.
was another, Liz, if anyone went where we got certified, like you do not get to say, I don't know. And if you're a client listening, I'm like, okay, and if you did, what if you did? No, right. And that's the other implication here. It's like an implied action, but it's also an implication that some part of me does know. Because when we're stuck and
Mhm.
we are feeling uncertain and stuck, we're like, I don't, at least for me, I'll speak from the eye. I'm like, oh, I don't have this answer inside of me. I must go look
Mhm.
outside. So I love the
Mhm.
invitation to go within. Like it's in there. The question is,
Yeah, and
the answer's in
sometimes we may really not know the answer. This
there.
happened to me recently.
Yeah.
Like I was in the I don't know
Yeah.
space
Mhm.
and I was I was like, it's a circumstance and it's a fact and it's a thought and it's a circumstance and it's a fact, and
Yeah.
that all of that can be true. And
Yeah.
sometimes the I don't know that's a fact
Yeah.
is, yeah, I'm going to pick up the phone and call someone that might actually know to just
Yeah.
get me moving. This is
Yeah.
beyond me solving for myself. Like,
Yep.
I do think that's real.
Yep.
And if I weren't stuck and I had an idea about what to do next, what would I do? Asking ourselves that first is really
Yeah.
powerful.
Because then you get to the answer, oh, I might ask for help. Right?
Yes,
I might
exactly.
I might call someone like that. Yeah. And we might just stay stuck, spun out if we can't access that. So good. So I want to talk also about the whole wise and worthy
Oh,
self.
yes, yes.
Yeah. I'm sure like this is a concept like the idea of living from our whole wise worthy self and just
Mm,
even saying that like I imagine somebody listening is like exhaling like it
mm.
feel right like it just
Yes,
feels
it feels
juicy.
so, yeah, it feels so yummy. Feels
Yeah.
so yummy. So I love teaching this.
Yeah.
And because I also believe it. And I don't think there's any downside in believing it. It just
Yeah.
makes me feel amazing to believe it. And so I want to help others
Mm,
get access to it so they can believe it about themselves too. So,
mm,
whole that this idea that we are not broken despite the world, especially if we're women, telling us everything that's wrong with us all the time. We are not broken, no matter what we've done or how we grew up or mistakes made, we are whole.
mm,
Wise, to our point that we were just making, so many of our answers live within us, and it never
mm,
occurs to us, or we weren't taught or trained how to ask ourselves first.
mm.
Or we've, for a lot of reasons, and likely the right reasons, disconnected from self, from body, from our emotions as protection. So we don't know we can go within, and working with someone like you could be so invaluable to like reconnecting with like, how do I find my answers within me?
Yeah.
And then worthy, we are all worthy just because we are here. So
Such big stuff. That's such a big concept. I want you to
I
like
know, I
go. Wait, no,
know,
okay,
I
so I'm
know.
thinking of a woman I was coaching just before this who was in such a painful place around
Mm-hmm.
I did this behavior. So
Mm-hmm.
absolutely like there's just cannot even see the
Mm-hmm.
like oh maybe I'm not broken. Maybe I'm not like maybe I am worthy. Like can't if that's like not even in the field of vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you support something like just taking a step closer? Like what helps with
Yes.
that? Yeah.
No, it can be such a far stretch
Yeah.
based on, and it was for me for so long. I
Yeah.
didn't, it's not like I have felt this way forever.
Yeah.
Hardly.
Hmm.
So even introducing the possibility
Yeah.
is just like holding that little bit of a spark that maybe one day could become a bigger flame.
Yeah.
And I love saying to clients, I know this is not accessible to you right now for all
Mm.
the right reasons. It's totally fine. I'm going to hold it in 100% belief on your behalf.
Yeah.
And when you're ready to come believe it with me about you, there's plenty of room over here.
Oh,
But
that's so
I've
beautiful.
got
It gives me
it.
little goosies.
Yeah, like
That's so
I've
good.
got it. I'll hold the belief for the both of
Yeah.
us right now. No
Mhm.
problem.
Yeah.
And I love coaching from that belief as well.
Yeah.
Believe so that I don't get tripped up by whatever the thing is that they said they did. We all do
Yeah.
dumb shit all the
Yeah.
time. So it's
Facts.
like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
okay, next.
Hmm.
Not to be dismissive of it anyway, but it's not a derailer. It's not a
Yeah.
points taken off the chart that someone's keeping somewhere about like
Yeah.
worthiness and who eh, all of that stuff that we
Yeah.
make up, where we're always trying to like make up and fill the deficit and all that stuff. It's just like, oh, no,
Yeah.
no, not all of this is already true. And you're going to go out into the world and do things that you're proud of and not so proud of. But if you
Mm.
believe you're whole, wise, and worthy, who will you be and how will you meet yourself in that moment when the
Yeah.
mistakes are made?
Yeah.
Loving, punitive, ashamed, maybe just a little bit embarrassed.
Hmm.
It changes,
Yeah.
it doesn't make us not make mistakes. It just completely changes how we are with ourselves when we do make mistakes.
Yeah, and that's also an ingredient of self-trust. Right? Like what
Mm-hmm,
you're just, it's not that, like, we think like, oh, I'll trust myself if I have all the evidence that I never am going to mess up. Like, no, it's like, how do you hold yourself? Like, you trust yourself more. Exactly what you said. You'll take
mm-hmm,
bigger risks when you trust,
mm-hmm.
again, I'm going to be a soft place to land. Like, and
Yes.
that doesn't mean, like letting ourselves off the hook. Like a soft place to land can be like, I love you and I we're gonna have to engage in some different behaviors here, right? Like I love you and I have higher belief in you than or like I can we can have expectations of ourselves or desires maybe for ourselves and like not have to like flagellate ourselves into it.
Right. Or we're willing to hear our own feedback. Like, I love
Yeah.
you, and that did not go well. We got to figure out a way to do it differently
Yeah.
next time. This is where it broke
Yeah.
down. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit cringy. Oh, okay. But it's like we can stay in the
Yeah.
conversation with ourselves and work all
Yeah.
the way through it, all the peaks and valleys of that
Yeah.
instead of like, oh, I'm going to skip the part where I evaluate because
Yeah.
it's too painful, because I'm going to make it mean all these terrible things about me.
Yep.
And that
Mhm.
really, then we do stay stuck,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You stay stuck and like unexpressed, unrealized, like whatever that thing is inside of you that
Mm-hmm.
you're like, I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
get this out
Mm-hmm.
to the world. Whatever it's a relationship or a
Mm-hmm.
business or a goal or a book or a Substack, whatever it is. Like that's, ugh, I know it's like, I'm like, I want to roll my eyes at myself for even saying it, but like it's part of the process, right? Like if you skip the evaluation because it's too painful, like you don't give yourself a chance to get closer to it. You don't get
Right.
yourself the chance to make it
Right.
manifest. So
Exactly.
if we start living though from this place of whole
Mm-hmm.
worthy, whole wise and worthy, what do
Mm-hmm.
you like? What starts to shift? Like when we stop like doing that, like performing for approval and we're operating from that
Mm.
wholeness and self-trust. What's
Mm.
different?
So I
Yeah.
think what becomes available is authenticity,
Mhm.
truth telling. We're more honest with ourselves. I
Mhm.
do think we take greater risks. I do think we're willing to put our work in the world, whatever that is.
Mhm.
There's no like
Mhm.
measurement on what that needs to be, but
Yeah.
the thing that we know we are meant to do while we have this precious time here on the planet, like we're willing to pursue it.
Yeah.
We are more compassionate, we're kinder, we're more loving. I
Mm.
think we're just lighter
Have a good life.
energetically,
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So,
So good. What an invitation.
mhm,
Before I ask my last question, because I have another one for
yeah.
you, please tell the listeners, like, where can they find you? Where can they connect with the work you do and keep following what you're putting out in the world?
Okay, so my website is katiepulsifercoaching.com, and there you can find a free resource I have about creating your next chapter, stepping into
Mhm.
like the bold next version of you. I do private one-on-one coaching. I also have a coach certification. And then I write a Substack, Katie Pulsifer Coaching. You can find it over on Substack. And then LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, those places. I show up occasionally.
We're,
Not
well,
often,
we all have a love-hate relationship with
just enough so you know I'm still alive, but not too much to derail my plans of other things I want to do.
I am existing in the listen, and I think that right there, like hits, like when we are in self-leadership, like
Yeah.
we can say, yeah, here is where I mean, I think again, as somebody who, if you have an online business, right, there's a lot of sort of like there is the one right way, and like get on the social media, have your funnels, do all of the things, and
Oh,
again, I love that you're like, yeah, but when you are in self-leadership, you get to decide, like you have agency to say, I can make the impact and do the thing that I want to do in the way that I
yes.
want to do it. And that might
Yes,
not include
exactly.
social
And I
media.
might change my mind next year.
And I
I
might
might want
change
to
my
be
mind.
there all the time. I can't wait to see what I do, but who knows?
That right there, that energy right there, right? Like I can't wait to see what I'll do. Like
Yeah.
that's that to me, like that's like what that energy of like the whole wise and worthy and like
Hmm.
real self-leadership. You have solid, like you are coaching when you're like, yeah, I just get to delight in like what will I do next? Like that doesn't seem like a version of me now. I mean, that's literally this is why I do wild things like, oh, you want to go run a full marathon? I'm like, who
That's,
is that
yeah.
version of? I cannot wait. You want to write a
Wow.
book? In what world? Right. This one,
Right.
apparently, right? Like, you're just like, I can't wait to see what I'm going to do. Like, I can't right now. I'm like, absolutely not. But I'm open to the possibility that my future self, she got different plans. That's like such a fun place
Yes.
to be.
It's so exciting. It's
I love
so exciting because then you stay so curious
that.
and open. Is it this? I don't know. Is it this? And then you start to like, what's my body saying? Oh, nope. My body's saying that's a no. Nope. My body's saying, yep, that's a full yes. So
It's just a
going
listen. This is
back
what
to
I'm like.
that.
This is like when you get to just play with the world. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we might be going there already, but I want to ask you the question that I love to ask all my guests, which is,
Mm.
what does it mean to you to live an unblocked life?
So for me, it means claiming my legacy. And I'm obsessed with this word. I am like in love with this word legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the idea that we all get to create a legacy. And legacies aren't reserved for fancy, fancy, fancy people and very wealthy, wealthy people and people
Mm-hmm.
who do things that our great grandchildren will read about. We all can create legacies in whatever way we want to, and that we're shaping them right now, whether we like it or not. And so I love asking myself, what do I want to be known for?
Mm,
What do I want my legacy to be? And leading with that as much as possible. Not every
yeah.
day. I don't
Yeah.
have great days every day, believe
Yeah.
me, but
Uh-huh. Yeah.
trying to come back to that energy of everything I'm creating, the way I mother, the way I wife, the way I daughter, the way I coach, the way I friend, the way I give away a lot of money to programs and resources that I care about. It's like, what do I want to be known for? And that my little legacy matters. All of ours does.
Yeah. Well, of course, now I have to ask, Katie, what's the legacy? What's the answer to that question? What you want to be known for?
Well, I think I Well, not I think. I know that I want to help make coaching at tools as accessible as possible. Like, I would love us to have more of a coaching culture
Mm-hmm.
where we talk about what happens on the inside of us more
Mm-hmm.
and we understand ourselves better. Because when we do, to come back and tap into everything we've talked about today,
Mm-hmm.
like there's nothing we can't do as human beings, and there's no problems we can't solve, and we have plenty of them right now. And I don't want robots to get all the credit.
Yeah, I was just saying, I'm like, who wants to like jump off the top ropes and beat their chest? I'm like, yes, there's nothing that we can't do. There's no problem we can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and listen, this is why we do these kinds of things because then we get inspired by people. Because as you were saying that, I was like, oh, maybe I want to do a series on the podcast or on the socials somewhere and an email to yours, I don't know, of like a self-coaching, like just pull back the curtain, like this culture of coaching,
Mm.
talking or culture of coaching, talking about what happens on the inside of us more and like just be
Oh, yeah,
right.
you
Like
should. You
just
should.
let
Can you
me
do that, please?
pull back the
Can you
curtain.
do
Yeah, if only if you join me. Is this a Substack, ma'am? Is this
Yeah, yeah, let's do it. I mean,
let's do
how
this.
fun. Like, let's
How
be part of the
the
getting it
movement,
out there. Yeah.
talking more about what's happening on the inside of us, which is so funny because I would say I feel like I do that a lot where I'm just like, I am walking around like just a wild mess of like, y'all, here's the whole messy, like chrysalis, like we're just right between the caterpillar and the butterfly, right? That's the
Hmm.
check my science here.
I
But
think.
I feel
I
like
think.
I feel like I'm it's just wide open. Like we'll be on a podcast, someone will ask a question, I'm like, oh, I'm sweating everywhere. Like, what did you just say to me? Like, I'm very out there, and yet then people will talk to me and or like I was for examples after I did a keynote speaking thing and there was everyone we it was a women's conference, it was amazing, and afterwards like we're all gonna gather, it was like a little you know
Mm.
a little gathering afterwards, and they wanted to go do something a little salacious, and they were like secretive about it, like, oh, we can't tell Jessica because Jessica is like she was the speaker. And I was like, what do you, I am a whole ass mess. Like, what do you mean? Like, I literally started this off by telling you all, like, my family was in, like, they were in prison. Like, this is what's happening at our Thanksgiving. And y'all think that, like, there's any semblance of, like, I was like, it's
There,
so, it's so funny, right? Where it's so, yeah. So I just feel this, like, okay, talk more about what's happening inside of us. Because even when you think you're doing it and you're like, obviously people are seeing the entire shit show that is happening. And so
mm,
I think that
hmm,
people are still like, oh, well, but you know,
mm.
you're a coach and a therapist and you have a podcast and you have a book or whatever. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
and I have
I went
a
to,
brain.
I, I am in a business mastermind and I am with some really, really smart, incredible people. And
Uh,
I admitted out loud, are you ready for this?
I absolutely,
Ready? Every Thursday, without fail, I want to quit my business and I believe I'm a terrible coach.
yeah. Well, today's Thursday as we're
And
recording this.
today's
I'm
Thursday.
so glad we're here together. Yeah,
Every Thursday,
yeah,
it just comes right around. Like I've
yeah,
sprinted Monday through Wednesday. I've checked so many things off my list.
yeah.
I've coached so many clients. Thursdays tend to be a little more open and spacious. I think I'm a little more tired. I don't have evidence yet of what I'm going to do next week. My brain runs rampant, out of control with fire daggers. And I literally am just like, okay, I think I need to close my business. I think I need to just go get a different job. And because I'm not even a good I'm not like not even good at this.
Oh,
And every single person in the business mastermind started laughing
yeah,
hysterically. And
yeah.
it's like, okay, so if this one over here can think that she's not a great coach, then like, and then it just
We're in good
started like
company.
every single person
Oh,
revealed their deep dark secret and
yeah,
we all got it out, like all of the
yes.
things that we don't talk about because that's embarrassing.
Yeah. That's why we do, that's what we're
Yeah.
doing here. That because I will say that's one of the things that I think is I mean, there's so many beautiful gifts of getting to do the kind of work that we do where we get a front row seat to people's inner
Mm,
workings, right?
yes,
And one of
we
it is
do.
I work with so many people that I have such high respect for. I work with so many people who are doing incredible things and I
Yeah.
get to coach them. Like they're showing up and I'm like, this is what tell it does not matter the walk of life you're in, like where you are at. Turns out
Yeah.
you are still a human with a brain and a nervous system. It
Yes.
doesn't matter how many zeros are in your bank account, how many accolades and awards you have behind you, or how much or how little. You are still a human with a brain. And there is
Hmm.
something so normalizing, validating, liberating about that.
Hmm.
It's like good
Hmm.
news, bad news is you're never going to get out of it. Turns out, like
Right.
while you're in this meat
Right.
sack, you can
Right.
get all of the achievements, gold stars, check boxes. You still gotta have a brain and a nervous
Yes.
system, right?
Yes.
And so it's like great news, good news, bad news, but it's like, yeah, you're never gonna get out of it, and you don't have to have a great life.
Right. Right. Just understanding it more and knowing what's going on and being there for it and being patient with it. And because it always passes. I feel totally different on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh. It's like, it's like,
That's the,
okay,
again, you're
I
like,
want
that's the
you.
lability of the mind. Like, actually, I might walk on water today. And then tomorrow you're like, welp, see, I'm just gonna go. I don't even know. I don't even want to like be insulting to any other job, but I'm just like, this is where I'm gonna be. Like all I am capable of today is moving this rock from left to right, right? You're like, this is
Yes. Yep.
right. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that because that, I mean, listen, as somebody who is, I'm like, as somebody who is like sat at the feet of Katie Pulsifer and like, teach me everything you know. You're incredible. Again, it's so amazing for me to hear it where you're like, yep. And on Thursdays, I think I suck. Like, yeah,
Yep.
we all do. And
We all do. We
we
all
can have
do.
like I remember Cara Lowenthal and Stacey Bayman, right, who are just wildly successful coaches in our world. And when they're like, yeah, look what I can create with a half managed mind. Like,
Hmm.
oh, great. Like, if we only, I mean, 50%, like, we can all get there, right? Like, you can do
Right.
incredible things. And so, I guess maybe the takeaway here is, as much as like I talk about, like, perfection is not the answer. Like, really, this is what that looks like. Is like you don't have to have 100% confidence 100% of the time to do really amazing things. Like, it comes and goes, and maybe that's not a problem.
It's not a problem. The
Oh,
problem is sitting and waiting until everything feels like so dialed in that that's your body's signal. Yep, I'm ready now.
yeah,
The moment likely has passed.
yeah,
And we miss too many moments preparing, readying, waiting for some mysterious sign that it's like everything's going to be okay.
yeah.
I wish it were that easy for
And we're like, good
us,
news, bad news.
but
The
my,
sign ain't coming, friends. The sign is not
yeah,
coming.
it's not
And you
coming.
don't need it.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
That's,
you
yeah.
really
What, like,
don't.
as you were just kind of, I'm like, yeah. And I always went, like, what a tragedy. Like, what a tragedy if you miss, like, I think I shared this in just the last podcast episode, but I'm going to say it again for the ones who missed it is, like, I'm so grateful for the people who did the mess, that who were like with a half managed mind. I'm going to show
Mm,
up, hair askew, like, whatever. And they did something that I got so much value out of. Like,
hmm. Hmm.
what a freaking coup that I mean, like I'm so grateful. Like you did a hard thing. Like you, Katie, you did a hard thing. You did whatever you did, like even with the half managed mind, and you worked at a place that I got so much value out of. Thank
Mm,
God for the people who are like, we're gonna like just show up messy and do the
yes,
thing. So let's be
yes,
grateful for ourselves when we show up messy and do the things too.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm.
Listen, we're like on now. We're like, Grip, where's the pulpit? We're just gonna start preaching here in a minute. So
What are we
I
gonna go do?
will. So I will just say thank you, Katie. What a delight! Like, thank you so much for coming
Oh,
and sharing your wisdom and your truth and letting your insides be seen on the outside, so we can all benefit for that. It's amazing.
oh, my
Thank you.
pleasure. And it is so fun to be in your world. I mm, binge your podcast. I love it. I love learning from you. I'm so proud of all your success and to have this opportunity to catch up with you.
Oh, thank you so much.